Hi there, if you have ever tasted finger-licking super delicious shito and you are wondering how to achieve that taste, or you haven't at all and you are wondering how shito tastes like, or even how it is made, I bet you are on the right channel. My name is Enyobex. Please stick and stay with me throughout this video, and I promise after this video you will be good at making super tasty shito. Let's do this. I started off by pounding my dried pepper. I didn't want it to be in a powdery form, just a little bit of flakes in there to spice things up a bit. The other ingredients are fish powder, shrimp powder, powdered pepper, ginger. Don't worry, I went ahead to blend the ginger into an almost smooth paste. And then some onion, garlic, shallots, and rosemary and cloves. Tomato paste, about 2 liters of vegetable oil for the start based off on the quantity of shito I prepared. After heating up the oil, you go ahead to add the onion, garlic, pepper and other spice blend into the oil while stirring gently, because this substance is very hot and then a little mistake is going to splash on you and we do not want that. Please do want to use a very thick saucepan or frying pan because we do not want our onion burning and leaving that bitter taste in the end product. After about 5 minutes, you go ahead to add your ginger blend and stir through vigorously in order to get all of it mixed up properly. I'm so sorry to say this video was quite unplanned, so I actually forgot to film most of the raw ingredients at the initial stage if you notice, but don't worry, I'll leave all the names and measurements in the description box below, so please do well to check it out. Thank you. Well, I advise if you are preparing shito in large quantity, you go for a way bigger saucepan or bigger frying pan, way bigger than the quantity of shito you are preparing. This aids you to actually stir through comfortably and then for the shito to actually cook through evenly. I underestimated the quantity of shito I ended up with, so I was finding it difficult in stirring and maneuvering the shito, so I had to transfer it into a bigger pan. You can actually start preparing your shito in a very big pan from the word go in order to avoid all this hassle. At this stage, we are 30 to 40 minutes into the frying process. Please do well to keep stirring through systematically in order to prevent the bottom of your shito from burning, because if it starts burning at any point in time, it will leave a bitter and sharp biting taste in your end product and it will affect it completely. I bet we do not want that. If you decide to prepare shito on a gas stove or electric stove, please do well to do this on a low to medium heat. At this point, all the moisture or liquid in this sauce is drying up beautifully, so you go ahead to add your tomato paste at this stage while stirring through thoroughly, so every moisture, every little drop of moisture or water will get dried up completely before you go ahead to add your dried powdered pepper and other dried ingredients. Also note that there are other recipes of shito that do not require tomato paste at all. Please do want to like, comment on this video if you really want me to put out other recipes of shito for you, and I will do that gladly. If you enjoy watching this video up until this point and you have still not subscribed, please subscribe, because your subscription goes a long way to push me. See how the color is forming and coming together beautifully. The aroma from this sauce is amazing. I really wish you could perceive it wherever you are watching me from. Sorry, I lost some clips, but I went ahead to add my seasoning cubes. That is the Maggi shrimp cube, about 6 of them to taste. Please be careful not to add salt at this stage, because the shrimp will be added up to the taste. When those bubbles begin to form at the edges of the frying pan or the shito, then it is a guide for you to know that this shito has little to no moisture left in it. So you go ahead to add up your dried ingredients at this stage. At this point, I had already added my dried pepper powder and then pepper flakes. And whilst at it at this point, please do want to keep your fire source at the very bare minimum. I went ahead to add my fish powder at this particular stage. It was about a minute or two after adding the dried pepper. You realize that after adding the fish and shrimp powder, it ends up soaking up almost all the oil. Please do not panic at all, because you can always add extra oil to this, because the oil serves as a preservative. After about 2 to 3 minutes, I added my shrimp powder at this stage. Like I said earlier, you realize after adding the fish and shrimp powder, there is little to no oil at all left in this shito. And if you go ahead to allow your shito to cook and preserve it as it is now, it will go bad in no time. So if you really want your shito to last longer without going bad, you go ahead to add extra oil or excess oil. Let it be in excess so that it will float on the surface of the shito. This serves as a preservative, and it can keep your shito for up to 6 months or more if you refrigerate it, or if you place it on a shelf and pay particular attention as to what you fetch the shito with and how you clean up the surface of the shito. At this point, all that is required is patience. You know the old saying, patience is really a virtue. So you need to leave your fire to the barest minimum, and then you allow the shito to simmer and brings out the oil. At this stage, you cannot really see the excess oil floating on the surface, but when you have patience for it and you bring the fire source down, you realize the oil begins to form up on the surface of the shito. At this stage, you can taste for salt and adjust it if it is not really up to. Remember, I did not add any salt at the initial stage. I only went in with about 5 Maggi shrimp cube. I prefer Maggi a lot because it does the magic for me. You can try it out. Mostly when I use Maggi, it brings a taste to a particular point where I will not even need to add salt again. But whatever seasoning cube you use, please be careful and then taste as you go and adjust the taste according to how you prefer it. We also realize at this point that the oil has formed up beautifully on the surface on this shito, and you see those bubbles at the edge of the shito. That shows that all the water or moisture in this shito is drying up. At this point, our shito has cooked beautifully and almost all the moisture has dried up. Look at that. When you fetch it and it separates itself off the ladle or whatever you are using to stir it, then you know that this shito is done. It's perfectly done, and you can preserve it in your bottles or jars and it will never go bad. This particular batch of shito I made was for an event, so there was no need for me to bottle it. But like I said, anything shito, please leave a comment down below and I'll come your way as to how to bottle shito, how to fetch shito. Mind you, disclaimer, in fetching your shito, you have to use a very clean and dry spoon. No water at all, no moisture on the spoon at all, and you have to wipe the surface very well. But like I said, there are more to come on shito. Now you can pair this deliciousness with your kenkey rice, gari, mention it. So everything is done with, you allow it to cool for 6 hours or overnight based on your geographical location before you bottle it. Until I come your way next time with more interesting video, thank you for sticking and staying. Bye.